Bye. As I wave my hand that no one can
See you
see. And Penta's already gone. Penta said, fuck this.
guys. Alright, y'all. See you later.
Alright, have a nice day.
All right.
Hello, welcome to the ModCast. I'm Wokey, and I'm here with Zenrot,
Hello.
Penta,
Hey.
and D-Free.
What's up?
And I'm gonna let Zen take it from here.
Right. How's it going, everybody? Today we've got another special guest. We got D-Free from YouTube. I'm sure many of you know him. So today we're going to start out with a few questions, just like we did last time. D-Free, when did you get into Dragon Ball?
Dragon Ball specifically, man, that takes me way back. When, just kind of keep it concise, when I believe I was like 6 years old or something like that, during Toonami's initial airing for the Dragon Ball Z series back, I just remember I was like 5 or 6 years old. It was either my birthday or it was something related to it because I was getting gifts. I don't know. It's always a good time when you're getting gifts when you're that young. So I was glancing at the TV, flipping through channels, and I just remember seeing like Destroyed Namek. And from that point on, it was Goku versus Freeze. At that point on, I just was kind of immersed in the series. And I kind of got away from it for a while, but I've recently gone back to it within the last couple of years. So basically way back then, I got in love with the series.
Okay. Now, when did you start playing Dokkan Battle?
Dokkan is a funny story. I've been playing it for about a year now. Around then, I was kind of just looking at Xenoverse mods, and I came across I'm a Saiyan's YouTube channel, and he was playing it, and I was like, what is this game? And I was like, yeah, it looks kind of complicated, so I tried to download it, and it's a lot of information at first to try to look at. So I looked at it, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of too much for me. So I stopped it, and I didn't play it or anything like that. And I came across like a few other channels, like, I'll give it another shot. So I kind of continued playing it, started making content, and now everybody makes content on it. So.
All right. So which version of the game do you prefer?
See, had you asked me this like 2 months ago, I would have told you global, or maybe a month and a half ago. But now at this point, it's Japan, simply because global just kind of sits on their heels too much. They don't do anything for a majority of the time. I don't know why they kind of just slouch when it comes to releasing content. So basically, I kind of got bored with it, to be honest. Whereas Japan, even now, like right now, it's like you kind of have to play nonstop, which is not always a good thing, but at least there's always something to do. So at this point, Japan. I've kind of put money into it now, which is something I was like opposed to doing. I would prefer to just wait for it to come to global, but you know, it is what it is.
All right. Now, when are you gonna reveal to the world that you are a Bandai employee?
Oh man, you know, people actually really do believe that type of stuff. It's funny. They're like, oh, I told them that, man, that you were one, and they're like, oh yeah, he must be one too. And they're like, oh, you have Bandai turn up your RNG and stuff like that and give you stones and all this. I'm like, man, you know, I get lucky, right? But if you would count up how much money I actually put into the game, I don't know if I would consider myself lucky in that regard. So I am not, never have been, and probably never will be a Bandai employee at this point.
Do either of you have any questions you'd like to ask? I think that's no.
No, not at the moment.
Oh, here's one good one before we move on. What content do you like to produce other than Dokkan content?
So Dokkan is something that is kind of secondary when it comes to like what I really like to do. I just like to do discussions and things like that. But the problem is when it comes to Dokkan is that it's constant. It's just something I have to constantly bring content on. Otherwise, I'm not going to stay up to date with it. But I like doing other things like Dragon Ball discussions. Every now and then I get into doing research and doing, you know, educated videos like that for people to listen to and enjoy. But just anime all around at this point. And I'm trying to expand a little bit because I'm into like so many different things. Like, I mean, it may be perceived wrong, but I'm into a lot of different animes to the point where I don't even know if I'd rank Dragon Ball within my top 10 favorites. So I'm trying to expand on my channel at this point. So Dokkan is just something that I have no choice to do, but I enjoy doing as well. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, okay, I do a video on this event. Wait, here's a brand new event. Okay, 3 more events just came out. Oh, awesome. So it's like every day I have to do it. And especially if you try to do summons, you get into the loop that Dino is constantly in, where he's doing like 15 summon videos trying to get something specific. And, you know, he's constantly, he even gets so many done to the point where the event is over and he's still doing videos on it. So this Dokkan is just a thing that's just constant. So
it's like a really
right.
nicely arranged marriage. You kind of have to do this, but at least you're happy with it.
yeah.
An arranged marriage that worked out.
Yeah, I have such a large subscriber base that are interested in just Dokkan specifically, so like I can't like alienate them and not do Dokkan content, even though like sometimes it's not the hardest thing to do or the hardest thing to edit and record and stuff like that. It's just I feel like I do too much sometimes, and I get away from things I actually kind of wanted to predicate my channel on. Like my channel started off being Naruto, Pokemon, and Dragon Ball. It worked a little bit until you realize Naruto and Dragon Ball don't mix so well, even though they're similar genres. And I had to completely create a whole separate thing from Pokemon. I have a whole separate channel for that. But lately with Dragon Ball, it's just Dokkan nonstop. And when Xenoverse 2 comes out, it'll be Xenoverse 2 and Dokkan. And I'm like, well, I'm kind of getting further away from what I want to do. So.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's get started in the discussions now. Let's talk about Global World Tournament finally came out. How about that?
Boo.
Yeah, kinda, right?
I don't
It
care.
doesn't seem like anyone's. God damn it.
I tell you what, I'm not even really involved in it because I don't really particularly care about the boo. I've had like 6 or 7 wins right now. I did one tournament and I jumped up from like 74K to like 58K. And I'm like, yeah, nobody's playing.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like anyone's actually playing right now.
Yeah.
It's such a freaking bad grind. It doesn't make you feel good at all. The World Tournament has a lot of problems.
It's miserable. It doesn't feel rewarding at all in any way anymore.
Which is crazy because they're the guaranteed SSR that updates. You'd think that would be enough.
Yeah, Bubbles updates at least. But like
Yeah.
you know, you get the boo, which good for you, I guess. He's an okay card.
When Ultimate
And
Gohan
then you
isn't
get
broken,
2 tickets
it's
that
great.
you have. Yeah, he's a good card when you can't beat Ultimate Gohan with whatever you want. And then you get your 2 tickets that, I mean, could be something new, but probably won't be. Because it seems like everyone just gets dupes with them anyway. It's become a running meme at this point. Like, why even do it? It takes over 4 days for 80 wins. That's 20 wins a day. So it takes, and I mean, wins aren't fast. The first round of the tournament alone takes a really long time, comparatively.
It takes about 3 minutes if you're doing it pretty fast.
So, I mean, 1 win, you're looking at what, maybe 15 minutes?
It depends
Yeah,
on what.
if you're completely just paying attention to it.
When
Yeah.
when I was doing this in Japan with one this is with one AoE, but if you 100% let the AIs fight each other and you don't care about rank, you can dial down doing an entire 60 stamina event to exactly 5 minutes. But that's still an insane amount of time to
Well, yeah, when you have to do it 80 times at least.
Yes. And the amount of by the time you want the AI to fight each other, that's when they're all going to be coming for you. So in general, the World Tournament is guaranteed to just make you angry. But at least
I mean, the times that they pick. Go ahead.
At least you get Kami now.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone gets Kami just for participating at this point.
Jeez. Kami is such a high drop. I've gotten him like 5 times. I was excited too because I did a summon and it was just base form and I was like, oh, it's going to be garbage. And it went by, guys. I was like, oh my gosh, finally we're going to get the Goku. And it's just Kami. All right. I was like, okay. Instantly just like, okay, I'm done with you, Global.
Yeah, I don't know if that's intentional. That the Kami rate is so high. It's 2 tournaments in a row, so it must be, right?
Yeah, it has to be.
It has to be a bug because, no offense to Kami, he did a great job being a god, sort of. but kind of why Kami?
I mean, he's a +2 key lead. Maybe they just want everyone to have one.
Yeah, but so is Demon King Piccolo old. And don't they have
Correct.
the exact same stats?
They do.
Yeah.
Kami costs one less though. Piccolo costs one more cost.
Alright, so he's really good for Super Strikes then, is what you're saying.
Not really, because I think he still costs 26.
Well, that's your one SSR for the entire Super Strike then.
Yeah, it's Kami. That kind of segues us into the next thing. Do you think that the player bases of both games are just tired of the World Tournament?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's... Considering that a little while ago I had, for one of these, I literally just put up the World Tournament sucks. And I got no blowback for that. I'm gonna say that no one's really defending it, because at this point it's kind of like a terrible shared experience that we all have, that we all just kind of know is terrible.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much longer this model of content is going to be sustainable, because, I mean, the prizes are almost always mediocre. The only time they're not mediocre, which is like Ultimate Gohan, he's forced into mediocrity by the fact that he has 3 other versions of Ultimate Gohan that are all better than him.
Yeah, and that because he's a World Tournament reward, he cannot Dokkan.
Yeah, so he can. So because for some reason Bandai doesn't like their prizes to be exclusive, like, and good at the same time. Like Naruto is the same way. They're doing their version of the World Tournament right now, which is way better, by the way. And the unit, it's harder, but it's better. It's more fun, and it doesn't take 86 hours. Their prize and it can't even awaken to the next rarity up. It's locked at what it's at.
It's just a collectible.
Yeah. So, how much longer can whoever, I forget the name of the company that develops Dokkan, it's like Akatsuki, right?
Yeah.
How much longer do they think that they can keep recycling the same slog for just a collector's piece that you'll never actually use?
I don't know, but I can't imagine it's for very much longer. I just remembered that for a brief moment, their way of getting people to play the World Tournament was, here's a free SR Oob that you could potentially get to SA10.
And
And that first tournament prize last tourney for global that they skipped, the Goku.
Yeah, they did. They do. Like,
oh yeah, the Super Saiyan Goku.
They gave him out the same way they did with the Oob.
That's right. And also, there used to the only other improvement I've ever seen them do is that when they went from 100 wins to 80.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, it used to be 100 wins to get an SSR ticket back in the day. That was a nightmare.
Yeah, and they cut it, but they need to cut it again.
Well, they cut it, and then they cut the time that you had to play. So it's kind of the same thing.
They should just do a one-day World Tournament, 20 wins. Get it now.
I would do that, probably. I would almost prefer that.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to set aside one day versus 2, 3, or if you're playing global of 7, 8 days, even though it's not really 7 or 8, but it feels like it. It's a lot easier to set aside one day, though, for the game and just kind of just do it. So 20 in one day would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I would rather do 20 in one day than 80 in 3 days.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is right, but they said they're going to be trying to make improvements soon, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. But we know that they're making new mechanics. Apparently they gave a time frame. I was not aware of the time frame. But Z-Hall said that it's supposed to be either this tournament or the next one, I think he said.
New mechanics.
Don't they constantly do that? Change it around a little bit?
Well, apparently this is supposed to be like an entirely new set of mechanics that like it's like changes the rankings and the way the rankings work and stuff. I don't know if that's like gonna actually happen because they promise a lot of new stuff and it always ends up being like vaguely different version of the same thing that we already have.
If they change it too much, then there's almost no point to have an AoE. I'm assuming they'll keep the same. You always fight 6 team members though.
Probably. I thought it was more. I don't remember the exact. I think it was on a stream, like one of those Nico Nico streams, and I don't remember it exactly because it was a while ago. But I thought what they were changing was the way that ranking worked.
Mm.
So that won't really help with the overall grind of everything.
Well, if they make, I thought for sure they said it was something like regional ranking, whereas instead of all the player bases in the world, you play it against like just a subsection of players that were nearer to you, and that could ease the need to grind the entire time forever.
So how would that work if you weren't in the region of Japan and, say, playing the Japanese version?
I was wondering that too.
I have no idea.
Am I just gonna fight the same 6 people that live in California and also play Japan?
I guess we will find out in the future.
Just have to wait and see.
Yeah. But I think the overall stance on this is just that the World Tournament model and design is just flawed, and it's not sustainable for that much longer.
Yeah, it was fresh and new and fun when it first came out. But nowadays it's a hassle, especially like on global because I'm maining that for so long. I remember after the never ending coming soon finally ended and it was 100 wins. I had no problem grinding to 100, 120 wins for like the first 2 or 3 tournaments. After that, I was like, yeah, this is not. But at that point, after like 2 or 3, I don't know which one it was, they implemented 80 wins, so it was a lot easier. But gradually, it kind of died down from there. I was like, yeah, I don't particularly like doing this grind anymore. It's too long. It's too tedious. It's too repetitive. It's the same thing over and over and over. And I was like, yeah, I can't mess with this. So I do it every now and then, depending on what I want to do. Like I just did it on JP because it was my first time with this new account I have, and it wasn't that bad, especially when you have AOE units. Because especially back then with those first couple of global tournaments, at least, I believe the first one Broly wasn't even out yet, so it was really, really tedious. So
the World Tourney makes me hate the arcs in Dragon Ball that had the World Tourney, and I love those tourneys. It's making me hate something I love.
Hates the entire Dragon Ball series.
I can't even
I
enjoy.
Blame you for that.
I can't even enjoy TN breaking Yamcha's leg anymore. Just brings bad flash memories of enemy teams running into each other, not getting a bro with them.
Yeah, Jackie Chan becomes your most hated favorite character.
Basically.
So let's switch over to the Japanese version for a second here. More of the Rebirths are out, so that's fun.
Yay, more Rebirths.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
For some reason, they're out of order. My theory on that is because they already had a Super Saiyan 2 Goku medal in the game, so they were like, fuck it, just put the other ones out because we don't have to make a new medal.
Very convenient, because that stage is super easy.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
I was actually surprised about how stupid easy that was.
Yeah.
So the only ones we're missing now are the starter Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, and the Super Saiyan Int Gohan. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on them so far? Have you liked them? Have you thought they were bad?
I think that personally, the Goku cards are fantastic. Unfortunately, the Gohan card, who happens to be my favorite character, just Gohan in general, I don't care whether it's Super or whatever the case is, he doesn't really improve too much, if any. I don't see the point in adding a defense buff on his passive, but keeping that same HP restriction. So I think that automatically makes him the worst of the bunch, unless you're looking for a hard-hitting tech, but there's already a lot of other hard-hitting tech units. As far as the Gokus go, they're fantastic. Doesn't physical give 20% to everybody too?
He
Just
does,
like Turles? Yeah, see, he's amazing. And Goku agility, 99 is totally reasonable, 99%.
And the physical Goku actually doesn't have an HP restriction anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, see.
He only gives 2 ki, while Turles gives 3, but he doesn't have an HP bar.
Oh, and it's to all types, not just physical and strength right now either, right?
Right.
Yeah, they changed it.
Yeah, see, he's fantastic.
He's really good, yeah. So is the agility one. The agility one's great.
It's a
the agility one has... Oh, crap, we all just went at once.
Yeah, It's a definite improvement from his old form, which was literally just to himself. But all they did was give it to everyone. Now he's much better.
Yeah. That's a really big jump. I wouldn't have expected that. I would have thought he would have kept that, but maybe got an attack boost as well. But saying it's for all of them makes him one of the best supporting units in the game at this point.
Well, he actually also got an attack boost.
Oh man.
When he supers, he gets 50% to his attack, like
his
Gohan does.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's strong now. He's really
He
strong.
got really good.
They paid no expense in making all the Gokus better at the expense of the one future Gohan.
Who still has 2 arms. A lot of people are mad about that.
Yeah. Wait till LR. Till
Yeah.
LR one arm.
What's weird is that he has 2 arms, but he still has the scars that he got from the
When he had one
injuries
arm.
that made him lose the arm.
Exactly.
Maybe he's from an alternate
It's got to be
future.
censorship. Yeah.
They can't show the one-armed man fighting.
It's from an alternate future that's all rated PG, so you can't have a lost limb.
Maybe their animation department is having a really hard time just having their loop of the animation punching go with one arm. Because if you think about the way the animations work now, all of them use 2 hands. And if it was just they use that same animation for him, but with one arm, it would look really silly because now he's just kind of punching in place with one arm. That's not how you would fight with one arm.
You give him a lot of kicks at that point.
Yeah, there's a lot of kick animations.
Yeah, I think that they really shafted that Gohan. He could have gotten a better restriction. Even 99%, once again, would have been good, or above a percentage, like 20, 30%, whatever. Just being 80% is really unreasonable, in my opinion. And then on top of that, I mean, didn't he go from huge to extreme as well?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, it's another thing. I suppose you can't really nitpick on that because he has like the Kaioken effect on him, but like still.
Well, the issue is that the Kaioken effect is useless. So they
Oh,
need to
it
stop
resets
making fun of it.
nowadays too, huh?
Yeah, it resets when a phase changes, which for those of you who don't know what that means, when you're fighting a boss and then it cuts out to dialogue and then a different enemy cycles in, your Kaioken effect gets reset.
He's
0.
totally-
No, that's a really sad thing. It made me not want to
Yeah.
use my intelligent Ultimate Gohan anymore.
Well, that's a big reason why he was worse than the other two for a while, because everyone was like, oh my god, supreme damage Kaioken, he's going to be the hardest hitting unit in the game, until you realize that you're getting like 1 stack ever, and then it resets.
It's terrible.
Does anyone
Obviously,
else think it's
super is
weird?
easy.
Yeah, he does super easy. He's got 1.5 million key links. Like, Jesus, I'm looking at him right now.
And
He's
he
got... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and he only needs he only needs like 7 key to launch a super, right? I'm talking about in the intelligent Ultimate Gohan.
You just completely cut out for all
Yeah,
of that.
I didn't hear
So I
anything
didn't
you
hear a
said.
single thing you just said.
It's fine. Move on. It's for the best. That was a sign.
I'm looking at Future Gohan right now. He's got 1 key from Golden Warrior. He's got that stupid future link that you're never going to use because no one good has it. And then he's got Ready for War and
Rebirth.
Revival. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Rebirth, you're right. Revival is the
Rebirth
shitty
and,
villain one.
Prepared for battle. He's got that abysmal future. He's got golden war. He's got so many key links. But my issue with him is that restrictions. I just really hate it because if I Senzu Bean, he's going to come in and he's going to be missing 70% of his potential attack.
Yeah, I don't really like having to play around when I heal. I mean, it's doable. It's very doable. But it can get frustrating because it's kind of like a knee-jerk reaction as soon as your health drops to a certain point to just heal right away and not even think about it.
Yeah.
Instead of having to waste like a better item like a Ghost Usher or something to guarantee that you get that bonus.
Yep. It's not worth it at that point. And like I said, there's other hard-hitting techs in the game. Even if you want, you can run Vegeta, you could run, or 3 Vegeta, you could run the Karoli that just came out. You obviously have Gotenks there. It's like his niche is already filled by several other units. So, and defense is arbitrary at this point, so it's not necessary. In most cases.
Does anyone else think that it's weird that the unit that won the entire poll is probably worse than the other 2 versions of himself that just came out?
Future Gohan 1?
No, it's Super Saiyan
Super
3.
Saiyan 2 Tech
Or
Goku
2.
1.
Yeah, 2.
Oh.
He has
I mean,
immense.
Yeah, I mean, he has immense, but that only matters if you SA-10 him, which, I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
luck.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
a support unit that's low on the list.
Yeah. I run him on my mono tech though because with him, the Vegeta actually who has no key links, he actually can get a super off easily.
Yeah, he's still better for monotech because he has no restriction, and it might as well be +3 key to all at that point.
Yep.
yeah,
But he was really good for the World Tournament because Majin and Broly. But now that there's both Chowman and Xeno Trunks, either one of the other two would be better for the tournament.
Yep. Shaman is babe.
Yeah, he's great. I love him.
yeah. I love Chow Man.
Yeah, it's weird that he was the one that won the poll, and it wasn't close. He won by like miles, and he kind of didn't really get that much better.
Maybe this is the game designer's way of saying, pick better units next time. Don't stop picking the Gokus.
Goku. Leave Goku out of it.
Please. We're
And
gonna
before
just
physical Vegeta gets it.
we're just gonna make them all basically the same. We're just gonna make them all the same. How about that?
Yeah, they all are basically the same thing, just different variations of key support. And that's what Starter Goku is going to be also, because he has another key support passive.
God. The Japanese player base has really screwed us on this one. Did no one? Now that you bring it up, I'm kind of angry at them now. How the hell did we end up with this many damn key leads? Not key leads, but key supporters.
And they're all Goku.
And they're all
Goku. Well, that just shows that like some people still don't understand why key is better than attack boost. I mean, just because this just goes to show you that everything in this game is all key support. So there you go.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
I may actually replace my bra pad, even though she needs to stay there because I enjoy her for reasons.
That's
But-
the same. I only
For
have
private
Bra
reasons.
Pants. I don't have that. I don't have a Goku, so I'm just gonna keep on using Bra Pan and hope I never pull Goku or Turtles or anyone else, so she could stay there forever.
Stay there forever. Bra pad needs to stay.
Thankfully, my absolutely perfect team doesn't need a puny key support.
Yeah, you're the 1% of people who don't need a key support at all.
The buff to future Gohan really has me worried about that Vegeta.
And Majin.
Oh, they're just gonna slap a defense boost on him.
I know, I'm really worried he's going to come out the same way, where it gets like 10% better and he gets a defense boost, and that's it.
They've really been pushing defense in this game lately as like for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's not like the mechanic has changed. They've been giving a lot of defense boosts for leader skills and stuff like that. I really noticed that though whenever that STR Rildo came out. It's like, well, his defense jumps, but like it's not necessary. So
yeah, reducing incoming damage is better than increasing defense in like every way, but they keep making passives that increase defense. So
I mean, all I've noticed is Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken is a good secondary tank. If Super can tank.
He tanks very well. Like I've seen him, honestly, and I've said this before, I've seen him actually out tank Super Vegito on a super attack, obviously because Vegito doesn't tank super attacks. And even normal attacks too. Like if you're on just like the normal stages where you're fighting like obviously like Cybermen and like guards or whatever, he'll take like 15, 20 damage from those attacks because his defense stat is so high on a double AGL lead. It gets over 20k at that point.
Yeah.
A lot of defense.
Yeah, it's a lot of defense.
So, a sentiment lately has been popping up that basically people are worried that the game is on the way down, and I think most players are kind of agreeing that it's getting pigeonholed and they're running out of ideas. So does anyone, because I've actually sat down and thought about this, and it's way too long for me to use this podcast to pitch my terrible ideas. So I'll just say that I'll write it up later and put it on Twitter or something. But has anyone really thought about ways that they could sort of reinvigorate interest?
More what if cards, or like, something from Heroes, for example.
Yeah,
So you're
we need
saying,
more
like,
Super Saiyan Gokus. I swear, at this pace, man, there's going to be 85 by the time the game actually is done. Just all Super Saiyan Gokus. Just Super Saiyan 1, not even 2, just Super Saiyan Goku. We're going to have an R version, too.
They should make a Super Saiyan Goku whose special attack is that he summons all the Super Saiyan Gokus in the game to launch one huge Kamehameha. So just like he starts and then like 90 teleport in from out of nowhere.
Goku use Shadow Clone Jutsu. They all just do the Kamehameha at one time. Oh, God. I don't know if I could still play at that point.
At that point, they would be saying, like, that's the last unit in the game. After him, there is no other units.
He's an LTUR. Goes up to level 200.
Yeah.
I just want you all to know that I'm counting all the Super Saiyan Gokus, and I'm at 14 so far.
There's a lot of them.
That's the thing, though, with this game is that the problem with saying they're going to run out of content is that they can just literally sit there and rehash characters, just make them different. You know, like the different Super Saiyan 2 Gokus that we just talked about, or whatever the case is. They can literally just keep doing that for everybody until they decide not to. And then at that point, they can get into more what if stuff like Super Saiyan. Damn, I can't talk right now. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. And we got into the fusion stuff, and we can get into like more stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of content. I mean, there's Dragon Ball.
There's Fireman Goku. The card I've been waiting for.
Oh, man.
The answer, by the way, is 21.
Jeez.
21?
21, and they've made the definitive Super Saiyan Goku.
Yeah, there's a lot of Super Saiyan Goku, and that's only Super Saiyan 1.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
So I could have counted all of those forms, but then I never would have talked again for the rest of the runtime of the show. So
That's true. In terms of what
my big thing...
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
No, I'm still
you go
trying to
first.
think.
Oh, okay. And then I'll go first.
Remind me sometime.
I think that they need to just change the way that leader skills work. Ignoring the fact that for the past 6 months, there's been like one definitive style of skill you've wanted to use. Because, I mean, Gogeta came out, and that was it. You just used him because his was the best leader no matter what.
Yeah.
Or if you didn't use him, you tried to use Mystic Gohan or Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta or somebody that mimicked him, but just not as good. And then they released these new leads that do the exact same thing, but like times a million. They're just even better. I feel like the way they built the leader skill system was either not well thought out or like lazy or something. Because 99% of this game, you spend just trying to get another leader that's the same one that you have. And you just want to stack double leads for the same thing to just get as much key as possible no matter what team you're using. And just blitz through everything.
Basically. Even if you look at the Rebirth cards with their old leader skills, they don't even bother to change them. They just add a stat to it or buff it a little bit. With those useless leader abilities you'd never use.
Yeah, the 30% to 3 different colors.
Yeah, like,
nobody's using
what's the point? That's so early game. Like, I mean, you would think that when they're rebirthing these cards, which is basically their chance to redo these older versions of cards, they would at least give them a more usable leader skill, but they don't even bother to do that. And by doing that, you're making the game to the point where and everybody's going to run exactly the same leader. Like at this point, it's Super Vegeta or one of the leaders like him, and God forbid a Rainbow leader comes out with that leader skill. He's going to have the Gogeta effect where no matter what team you run, if you're trying to run Mono or whatever the case is, you're still bringing Gogeta.
Yep, pretty much.
So.
And I feel like either they changed it like to make it so that only your leader skill is the only one that you got, and you didn't get it from your friends, which would open up like. Sometimes I don't want to use Super Vegito twice, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what if I want to bring Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken or another Super Saiyan Blue or just like Super Saiyan God? Because like, I feel like it would be more interesting to build your teams that way. Like, I'm missing a couple AGL units that I would like to use. Like, I don't have Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, and I don't have Super Saiyan God. Those are like the only units in the game that I don't have, that I want for my AGL team. So it would be nice to be able to pick them as a friend leader and go into content and not feel incredibly gimped.
Yeah, that's true. The one time I tried to take Super Saiyan Blue as a leader with my Vegito, I was like, yeah, this just isn't the same. This missing the key is not the same. It would work in the tourney, of course, because his leader skill doesn't work. So basically, he's there for his links and for his passive and stats, of course. So he's just there just to kind of fill in. But relying on a friend's leader skill at this point is basically the entirety of the game, because you're going to run a double mono team if you can. Even if you can't run double mono team, if you have double Gogeta, for example, that's still viable, or LR Goku, whatever the case is. You're going to run the exact same card as you're running generally at this point of the game.
Yeah, there's no reason not to. They're too good. Wokey, how's the thought coming?
Okay, hear me out.
Right.
Lord Slug comes back.
I love it.
And he brings the story mode that we've all been wanting since we saw him in Hero versus the heels. That's the only... See, the thing that I would want is just literally more, less focus on Dokkan festivals. I would like it to go back to the way it was when we only had a Dokkan festival once a month, and we had like maybe a bit more story stuff. But I have a feeling they're not doing story stuff because it's a lot easier to just make a Dokkan festival.
Yeah,
so,
they clearly don't care about story stuff anymore. They don't even bring back the old story that often anymore at this point on JP.
They didn't even finish the Metal Cooler story. Like I completely skipped that because I don't read Japanese, so I assumed at the end of Metal Cooler I beat Metal Cooler. Turns out I did not. I'm gonna guess that just means that he's gonna get a rebirth later, and that's the reason why they didn't feel like finishing it, because they didn't finish Metal Cooler either. So
yeah,
in this game in which I primarily like just want new dudes and want more story stuff and want more Dragon Ball stuff, I don't want Dokkan festivals where I have to constantly look at, even with discount stones, like, I'm glad that they're doing guaranteed SSR for some new units, or like in the case of the Ape units where a bunch of old units, but now they're all just here now with a new dude. I kind of just want them to go do story things, because that puts the pressure off of a lot of things. And I say that even though that GT story now has to come with a buttload of gems, and so you can get everything. I wouldn't even mind if the next story mode didn't have that. I just want something where it's super low stakes. Like, I don't want to be on a red alert all the time. I don't need to grind 77 medals as quickly as I can. I don't need to pull because there's a god unit that I need or want because he's a freaking god unit. It's just enough for me to look at Lord Slug and go, well, he's SS, and that's cool. And I'm happy, I guess. And I don't have to worry about anything. Low stakes. That's what I want. Low stakes.
See, I'd like that too, because with Lord Slug has to come that false Super Saiyan.
That's true.
Yeah. Does that count as Super Saiyan Goku? Is that the 22nd one?
Will he be a key support?
You got. And you can even add a Whistling Kid Gohan. That's your farmable. His special attack is that he summons the dragon, and he just does a little dance, and the enemy gets hurt.
Oh, Icarus?
Yeah, he just summons Icarus, and he does that dance, and then boom, the enemy is damaged.
Oh, please do that.
So you're saying you just want more stuff that's not, hey, here's the next best card in the game. The last best card in the game came out 6 days ago.
Yes, we have to.
You just want to have some fun. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we kind of glossed over it, but let's not forget that Bra Pen went from super meta to no longer necessary in the span of 2 weeks. in terms of like, let's say this isn't comparable, but to a fighting game, imagine or Overwatch if a character only stayed into the meta for exactly 2 weeks and then nothing was changed about the character. They just released a better character. Like, it's a weird example, but like, again, I'll use Overwatch because chances are a lot of people played it. If Genji, the way he was super OP, and everyone was like, "Damn, that's great," and then Blizzard looked at that and said, "Oh, let's just put out someone new then that's better than that person, and then less people will pick them." It's weird. Mm-hmm. It's bizarre. They need a bit more planning. But yes, I want them to slow down a bit. Let them breathe. Let me keep raw pan for meta.
I want them to slow down. Yeah, I want them to slow down for my wallet.
That would help too.
Yeah, let me tell you a D-Free Twitter story, shall I? So this guy, we're talking about Buhan on Twitter, and this guy is like, yeah, I'm not really gonna spend on Buhan because I mean he pulls the banner card in the first try every banner anyway, so he doesn't need to spend on Buhan because he already got it. I
pulled another one yesterday.
Yeah, I know, but this guy. He says, I'm not even going to spend on Buhan. And then he comes back into the chat, and Rhyme made some passive comment about how he didn't have Janemba. And he comes back into the chat like an hour later with like 4 more multis done and a dupe Buhan.
So in total, I pulled 3 Buhans on this banner in like 10 multis, and I sold 2 of them to Baba just to trigger people. Because they're not necessary, because I farmed them already to max. And I'm just like, nope, bye.
Yeah, that is one thing that sucks about the farmable super, is that dupes have even less value than they already had before.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I actually, to be fair, I said that I would not spend on the Buhan banner because Buhan is unimpressive. He's a fun unit to run. But the game is still Super Vegeto's game at this point. I still run Mono Tech and Mono INT just for shits and giggles at this point. But the thing is about Buhan is that I was like, whatever, I don't really care. But I do want Janemba, and I do want Intelligence Gohan. Once again, Gohan's my favorite character. On Global, for comparison's sake, I have every single version of Gohan available, from our kid Gohans up to the Intelligence Gohan, who's, I believe, the latest one. Every single one. SR, it doesn't matter. So I was like, yeah, I want him. So at that point, when I said that, I didn't know that these guys are going to be in this banner. Okay, so when the banner came out, I was like, yeah, I really want Janemba and Gohan. And they were who I was pulling for. I was not trying to summon for Buhan. I made a video. I was like, I don't care about Buhan. I don't care how you feel about it. I just want Gohan and Janemba. I actually still never got the Janemba, but I got like 3 Ultimate Gohans. And then I saw Buff Boo in there, and I was like, yeah, I really want Buff Boo. Not for anything else other than his super attack animation and his art. I love that guy's card. It's awesome. Yeah, so like this Buhan, I decided.
So you experienced the Chansey effect.
What's the Chansey effect?
It's when in the original Red and Blue, you could only catch a Chansey in a Safari Zone, and the only time you would ever run into a Chansey is if you didn't want a Chansey. But the second you went looking for Chansey, you never found a Chansey.
I could never find a Chansey, and I actually gave up. And I could hardly find Kangaskhan too. But yes, I did not want Buhan whatsoever, and he wouldn't stop popping up. I was just like, I'm sick of seeing this guy. And then it gets to the point where I was once again, I did the video, and people were like, "Oh, why are you complaining?" I'm like, "Bro, because I don't want him. Like, it would be cool if he wasn't a duplicate, but I don't want him at all. I'm sorry." So yes, he wouldn't leave, and I still never got Janemba. It's a tough life. Nor did I get Buff Boo, but okay.
That story is like an exact copy of my Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks Adventures.
That's another guy. I summoned him 3 times.
Well, you see.
That's why, if you ever see how Dino goes out on these long, drawn-out adventures on summoning to try to get one card, it's because I went ahead and summoned that card super quickly and easily when I wasn't trying to, and I'm like, "Hey, Dino, look at this," and he's like, "Bro, F you," and then he just goes out on just rage summons all the time.
This is accurate. I can confirm that this happens all
Yeah,
the
but
time.
just guess how many stones I used on Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks.
I'm past you in stones now, Penta.
I would guess infinite. You're still pulling for Super Saiyan
such
3
a
Gotenks.
It was 1.5k, probably over that. Guess how many Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks I pulled?
0.
Yeah.
That's like me and Gogeta, man, on Global. I went like 1,200 stones in, and I'm like, man, if I pulled every single card on that banner like 5 times. I was featured, but him. It was like this game is such a troll. I got the Gohan, I got the Frieza. Who else was my batter? The Broly. I got everybody. And I'm like, you will not give me Gogeta, will you? 1,200 stones. Just stop. The God Goku wouldn't leave me alone. I got him like Super Attack 6 from that banner. Oh, so bad.
I did get like 6 or 7 strength base Gotenks. And I hate that card now.
If
Especially
there wasn't enough reason to hate that card already.
Yeah, because he was super great before that banner came out.
The Forgotten Gotenks.
Anytime I pull him now, even if he isn't a dupe on the account I pull him, I'm gonna baba him. Just because.
I
Just out
bought
of
it.
spite.
I hate him so much. I don't like him. I'm at the crossroads where I'm like, do I want to sell my transcended one, or excuse me, feed my transcended one to my physical one, because I didn't have them at the time. I was like, I don't want the transcended because I'll never use them. I don't know. But I am happy that they Dokkan awakened the Goten and the Trunks, because now I can raise super attacks.
That's true.
Yeah.
I recently pulled that dupe STR Super Saiyan Gotenks, and now I'm at a crossroads of thinking I should probably raise this guy's attack. It doesn't make sense to feed this dupe, give him all the medals, and then just feed him to the one I already have. May as well just do the stupid thing and get as many of these Super Saiyan Gotenks that I can. Get him up to SA9 and then feed him to the other one.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. That's what I'm doing with Piccolo.
Well, Piccolo is easier because there's so many different variants that are useless that you can just feed him.
Yeah, and I pulled all of them in the past month, so I'm up there.
I actually really want the physical Piccolo. The game won't give me him.
Well,
He's not even that good, but
I
I
want any. You're welcome to as many of them as you want.
I summoned on that Rebirth banner specifically trying to get Xeno Trunks, Majin Vegeta, and Turles. So it's funny too because this is why people hate me. I was in a video and I'm like, I got 60 stones. I'm like, I was explaining how like you have such a low chance of getting like a specific card in the banner, like 1% or less generally featured card. So I was like, yeah, it's gonna be horrible. And I wanted the Tech Super Saiyan 2 Goku that had just gotten a rebirth. I got him as soon as I said that. You have a 1% chance. I was like, wow, okay. And I was like, yeah, but like I was saying, 1%. Wow, Xeno Trunks immediately after. Wow, another Xeno Trunks immediately after.
Yeah, I can confirm this is why people hate you.
And then we were like, really? 1% chance? This is why people think I would ban that. But I don't get who I want. That's the problem, is I generally don't get who I want.
You would have Janemba. If
exactly. I don't have a Janemba.
Always remember.
Thank you. I would have accounts that have 3,000 stones on them just chilling. It's like Bandai has those promotional videos. I'm like, wow, what do you need stones for? You could just give yourself anything you want.
Yeah, those are always weird to me, where they're like, look at these are our test accounts, and somehow they still manage to like not super.
Yeah.
When they're trying to show off the supers and they still don't do stuff like.
Yeah, whoever plays the game for those, I'm like, man, you're not very good at this sometimes.
He also runs the game at 1x speed.
Oh, I hate that.
Which is so slow.
That's so cringy. I can't.
All right, we got one more thing before we get into our closing questions. The new Super Strikes, the fat and the skinny Gotenks, have like the babiest of baby versions of the Mono God Leader skills. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think it's a step in the right direction, or do you think that it's just whatever?
It's good in the sense that when I went to go, like, I got really happy. I was like, oh, now I can make my dumb little teams. And then I went to go look at my physical units, and I looked at my tech units, and I said, oh, I don't need a god leader anyway because I have crap of these units anyway. So it helped me realize that I don't need Broly and I don't need Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks.
Well, the real god leaders can make anybody good.
It's
These
true.
guys are pretty much just making good people better.
Yeah, that's true. I like it. I think it's a step in the right direction.
It's funny that you give the fusions the best of these ability. Like, it's no one else got them, but they do.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess it's better than doing the whole like +3 key to 2 different types. It'll be interesting to see what other LR events we get to hopefully use those abilities on, but just wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is kind of assuming that the next one is going to be
Vegeta.
Vegeta. Yeah.
Because he always comes right after Goku. Like
I really
you'll
want that
see.
LR Hope deal.
Here's actually the thing I've been wondering. So that LR Vegeta, if it comes, or whatever LR comes next, whose leader skill does he get?
Yeah, that's a
they're
good
gonna make
question.
him better than Goku.
Because I was thinking I thought it would be really funny if they just gave LR Vegeta a god leader. And they
He
gave,
made him better than Goku.
yes, for this one brief instance, a Vegeta card went first. And he gets a god leader, and the LR gets... Because if Vegeta just gets another Gogeta lead, then he's just kind of like, oh, well, at least there's a... Then he's 100% just not as good, because he's harder to farm as well. Because if he gets SA20, good luck getting a buttload of Super Saiyan Vegetas.
Yeah, you'd have to do it all out of the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta event.
Yes, and those do not have a good drop rate.
No, it's awful.
Yeah. So how do you balance that? If Goku can easily get SA20, you should give the LRs god leaders.
Hey, if they're free god leaders, you will not catch me complaining. I'll tell you that.
It'd be interesting.
And before double type God later.
This
Totally breaks the game.
Oh god, the idea of 2 types. It's like a weird Frankenstein monster of a bunch of different units.
At least I would rather them do that than go straight to the Rainbow Leader.
Which feels like what's everyone's predicting. But
yeah, I think the consensus for people is just that it's on the way, you know?
yeah.
I'm scared of that guy because he's gonna just break the game again. He's gonna invalidate everybody.
Yep.
Everybody. He
Someone-
relegates everybody to being a sub unit at that point.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
And that's how fat tanks and skinny tanks makes me feel. Brings me it reminds me of other things. And it makes me sad eventually.
Fat tanks and skinny tanks just fill us with dread for the Rainbow Leader that's eventually gonna come.
Yes. It's like an incoming call from the apocalypse, just like, hey, power creep. It's coming.
Don't forget about these.
It's coming.
You have already lost. Actually, if every time I pulled, could they just play Cthulhu sound effects from Hearthstone? That would be great. Because it would vastly make me feel better.
Oh, good lord. Alright, let's jump into a few questions. I only have a couple today, but they're decent ones. What is everyone's favorite card in the game?
B-Pan.
Majub.
Gohan in general. I don't care.
All of them.
Tracksuit Gohan or Gohan when it's kicking.
Because he has a dragon punch.
Totally troll everybody. No, probably Gotenks. Just in general, I love his super attack animations. That's probably why.
The Super Saiyan 3 one, right?
Yeah, the volleyball
Yeah.
looks amazing.
Yeah, mine would have to be the Super Saiyan Blue Goku that came with Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, the agility one. That art is the best thing. It's so good.
He's really good. So simple too. He's just really good though.
Yeah.
Mine is legit.
I'm changing my answer.
What is it?
Mine is strength 18.
God.
So we both just went for the obvious ones.
Beepin and strength 18. One is a robot and one is underage, so I don't know what that says about the two of you.
Well, I call 18 Bayteen. That's what I call her.
And to be fair, I just really
name
like
actually
the
is-
bee. What?
so it's not the girl thing, it's the bee thing.
No, it's the fact that she is dressed like a bee. I'm not explaining this well, and I'm coming off.
No,
as
you're
terrible.
not. It's not working.
It's because of all the characters that I like. In terms of when I thought of GT, the only character I can actually legit think of is Bpan. It's not Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and it's literally just a still that I remember from one episode of GT. So for the longest time, I would always say, these are the characters I want. Fireman Goku. I want the bear that drives the car in Safety School Goku. I want Bpan, and I wanted these characters that, in my mind, were unrealistic to ask for. Because
And
no
then
one...
Beepin happened.
Yes, and then Bpan happened. And I was extremely happy, so that's why she will always be my favorite, because she's the one that got away. It's the one crazy-ass card that they decided that, no, we did need this card.
The one that you can never get.
Don't remind me.
Is it actually even possible to kill her?
No.
It's like, even if you nuke her, it's just not possible.
Yeah, no, she doesn't take enough damage.
She has the ultimate defense. She's basically
Apparently.
Super Vegeta. But a
Does
boss.
she escape from insta-win?
Yes, she escapes
Oh,
from
that's a
instant.
good question.
She does.
Oh, does she?
Yes. Don't ask me how I know. I just know.
Back to work anyway.
Yeah. I should probably
Well, then,
find
thank
something
you.
to eat.
D-Free for coming on the show. What is your YouTube channel?
Just D-Free, D, and you got to put the hyphen in there. Just D-Free. Yeah, once again, I do like just all types of stuff, but mainly Dokkan apparently at this point. I kind of hate to be pigeonholed as a Dokkan YouTuber, but it is what it is at this point.
Fair enough.
Oh,
And,
Yeah, thanks for having me on, though. I appreciate it. It was a lot of
absolutely.
fun.
it was nice
Thanks
having
for
you on.
joining. And of course, Penta and Wokey, thanks for coming along.
I should
And
mention
we-
before we get off,
Go ahead.
the stunning finale to the gaming arc will return with Toast does.
Yes, that will be next week.
Yes,
Gaming Arc Part will be next week.
we will end that battle.
We didn't forget. We're just delaying it so that everyone can participate.
Yeah, so Toast can be on. He wanted to
But,
be on this.
Yeah, family obligations.
Yes.
And thanks to everybody for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.
Peace.
Bye.